This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
And I'm Heather Branch, here with Abe, talking about ways you can work now to better prepare for your financial future. RetirementKeyRadio.com is where you can go to begin your own conversation with Abe and his team at Abich Financial Services. Again, that's RetirementKeyRadio.com. During the summertime, a lot of people traveling, but not for you, sir. The summertime is supposed to be the slow time for the world we live in, and it's the ramp-up time, I feel like, in Abich Financial Services every time I talk to you.
It is busy. We're growing. We have some wonderful clients and wonderful support and community, family and friends, and just clients all over the D.C. metro area. And because of that, we are expanding and growing as a company and expanding our space and footprint, and so we can continue to provide great service and great plans for our clients transitioning into retirement. So
that's right.
We can't take a lot of time off when our clients expect us to be around to manage these plans.
And the relationships you have built with people across the Nova area for the past, has it been quite a decade yet that Abich Financial Services has been helping folks?
Since 2008, so actually 15 years.
15 years, there it is.
15 years. Mm-hmm.
And it's no surprise that you just got an awesome award voted by people in the area. Talk about that.
That's right. Yeah. So the Loudoun Times-Mirror is the biggest newspaper publication, Heather, in Loudoun County, which is the fastest growing and one of the highest net worth and income counties in the country. Just an amazing county here in Northern Virginia to live and work in. And so the Loudoun Times-Mirror newspaper has had a contest going for, I think, 35 plus years. And in each category, the best restaurant, best dentist, best car wash, best financial planner, best CPA firm, they have a contest. And they try to nominate by voting who are the best companies in each of those categories. And for the last 5 years in a row, we've beat out some pretty big name firms. And we are, for the 5th year in a row, Loudoun County's #1 retirement planning firm, as voted on by the readers of the Loudoun Times-Mirror. So
it's very exciting.
It's great for a firm like ours to get that recognition because, we are competing to some extent with some monster names out there that everyone's heard of. And we're not a monster national firm. We are a local family firm that, loves helping the DC metro area community.
I think that there are a lot of proud people in the area. So it makes sense that they have voted you into this spot so many years in a row because they appreciate the localness, the family-owned vibe that we have here at Abich Financial Services. So let's get down to it then. Continuing to share the information that you, again, are always working to do and why folks are calling you so regularly, especially now. I mean, since 2020, I feel like the questions that we have just tripled in volume, wondering what our options are, what we can do, thinking about cash. And what our options are with our cash savings right now, what we can do with it. There are plenty of people sitting on a big pile of cash right now. They don't necessarily want to put it into the market, though. So some banks are offering CDs and money market rates in the 5% range. But the question for you is that the best place to put cash right now? Or do you have what you believe are better ways to essentially beat the bank?
Yeah, no, it's not a bad place to have, some extra reserves on hand right now. Heather, a lot of times cash is trash, and several years ago it was. But man, you might think cash is king right now. The markets, we're just in this weird place with the markets. The markets could go either way. The markets have been going up this year on a lot of FOMO. I was just reading an article this morning from CNBC, and Scott Schnipper quotes, "It's not a brighter economic picture or an exuberant earnings outlook pushing stocks higher. It's momentum and fear of missing out on further gains." FOMO, right? And we were talking about this before we hopped on today, that really 8 to 9 of the S&P 500's companies are responsible for nearly 100% of the stock market's growth in 2023. Those are those FANG stocks: Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Tesla, NVIDIA. Some of those high-flying tech stocks are responsible for nearly 100% of the market's returns. In other words, the other 492 companies, as of just in the last 7 days, are responsible for less than a half of 1% of the S&P 500's 14 to 15% growth. If that's not cause for some concern and for some pause, I don't know what is. So in the meantime, where can you make money on extra reserves, on the safer part of your portfolios? Well, like you said, we can get 4 to 5 on cash right now. That's a nice place. 6-month treasuries are paying over 5%. Short-term bond funds, structured notes with some principal protection or 100% principal protection. Short-term fixed rate annuities paying in between 4 to high 5s, fixed and guaranteed without stock market risk. There are just 4, 5, 6 places we can go actually to take some of those extra reserves in the bank and the safer parts of our portfolios and really get some nice attractive yield that we definitely couldn't get a few years ago.
Right.
A few years ago, we were running commercials on WMAL saying, hey, your money's dead in the bank. We got to have a plan to get it out. So that's kind of what the deal is with cash alternatives today. And we want to take advantage of those higher interest rates. The Federal Reserve has increased interest rates 10 times this last year and a half. And just last week, they hinted at, Heather, raising rates twice more in 2023 before a rate decrease. So we just had a couple call in and come into the office because they are concerned with all these things. They're in their late 60s. They're retiring in 5 years. They have $1 million saved that just crossed over that threshold. There are 7 on our risk scale and not sure how to protect their assets. So we found out they have no plan. And this is one of the biggest differences between our firm and really the rest of the industry, especially the big box investment-focused, growth-focused firms, is that, okay, here's this couple with $1 million, and they've done it on their own without an advisor, but now they have no idea, really, when their paychecks stop in 5 years, how to replace their paychecks with predictable, reliable income, when to take Social Security, when to take their pensions, how to address RMDs and taxes and risk and income generation and healthcare and all these things that weren't important and they didn't care about 10 or 15 years ago, right? And that the big box firms aren't helping people with. This is a specialty, right? You're not going to go to a foot doctor to get your heart worked on. You're not going to go to the heart doctor to get your ankle worked on, right? So why would you, if you're working with a big box firm that's helped you with growth and helped you with your investments, just because someone has helped you get to the point of retirement doesn't mean they're a specialist and an expert in helping people get through retirement. That's that phase 2 distribution and income focused plan that we help all of our clients with. So this couple realized they had none of this in place. Here they're retiring in 5 years. The retirement red zone that we call it, crucial period of time to get all their ducks in a row and lined up. Lots of dead money above emergency funds. And so what we did is we offered them a comprehensive Where Do I Stand plan, this complimentary second opinion, started with an income plan and roadmap, addressed sequence risk, forced distributions, markets being down while we're pulling money out at the same time. As I mentioned, RMDs, taxes, income, Roth conversions, all of it. I mean, we discuss and plan for all of this in a comprehensive phase 2 plan. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this couple in Herndon and you've got all these questions about how to transition successfully into retirement, you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going because you don't have that roadmap to answer all your questions and concerns and address those risks heading into phase 2, go to our website, retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the website page, and we can begin to explore these conversations with you as well.
Abe, when it comes to the questions that we have been having over all the tumultuous times these past few years, a lot of us turn towards sure things, for a lack of a better term, if you will. And when it comes to seeking financial advice, is there any more of a sure thing than introducing the man Warren Buffett into the conversation? He is famous for picking good stocks that have produced excellent results. But here's what's interesting, because even he wants to point out something very specific to investors. A recent interview on CNBC, he spoke about what can erode those returns on your market investments.
Costs really matter in investments. If returns are going to be 7 or 8% and you are paying 1% for fees, that makes an enormous difference in how much money you have on retirement.
You heard it right there from the Oracle himself. Mr. Buffett wants you to make sure you're paying attention to fees. So, Abe, how do you help folks figure out what their fees are and how to put more of that money back into their pockets?
We just had a couple call in from actually North Carolina. So they listened.
Oh, really?
They moved down to North Carolina and they listened to WMAL through the app.
Got it. Okay.
Actually, a lot of our clients do.
Yeah.
And so they called in from the mountains of North Carolina and they said, you know what? We used to live in Nova. We still listen to you and WMAL in general. And we need a plan. And one thing we are concerned with is fees. And the reason why is they had a feeling that they were paying too much in their 401ks. And they were right. So what we do, Heather, is we run all of our clients' investments and holdings and positions through Morningstar, which is like the premier research engine of the investment industry.
Okay.
We'll also run them up through Riskalyze, and all this data comes back in a comprehensive report.
Yeah.
And that's what we provided for this couple, this comprehensive report that shows what are the costs of the funds in your plan, in your 401ks and 403bs. What are the advisor costs, if any? And what we found for this couple in North Carolina is that they were paying 60 basis points, basically turns into, I think, $4,000 or $5,000 a year in fund cost, right inside their 401ks and 403bs, and no one's managing the plan. So they have no financial advisor, yet the cost of their funds is pretty high. I mean, 60 basis points. You could buy Vanguard funds down at 3 basis points, or they're almost free, in other words, right?
Wow, yeah.
So when we did the math and we made the recommendations, we put the comprehensive plan together for them, that phase 2 plan, I pointed out that after our advisory fee, since the costs of our funds were a good bit lower, the all-in cost to them to hire us to put together a comprehensive plan for them was only about $100 a month for them out of pocket, or $1,200 a year out of pocket. Having an advisor to put together a comprehensive plan. They had no advisor before they met with us.
And they were paying $4,000 to $5,000.
They're paying $4,000 to $5,000 in fund costs. So add another $1,200 on to hire us for the year. We offer quarterly reviews. We have the right plan for them as they're in their 60s transitioning into retirement. No advice and guidance before, just paying a lot of costs because 401k plans, a lot of them are not cheap.
Right.
So we provided them that risk analysis, those Morningstar and Riskalyze reports that gave them all the data. And once you have the data, you can make good, educated financial decisions about your future. Yeah. You don't want to make any changes to your investments and portfolio and allocations unless you have that information. So if you're listening right now and you sound like this couple in North Carolina and you have a feeling that the funds that you own in your retirement plan are costly, that they're probably not as cheap as it could be, or maybe you just have no idea and you want that complimentary second opinion on everything you've done to include your allocation and your investments, go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can give you that portfolio x-ray and start conversation with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.